Welcome back to Talking Franchise, Fast and the Furious. Well, not welcome back to the Fast and Furious, but Talking Franchise.
You already fucked up, Angel.
We haven't started this one yet. We didn't start this one yet. So it's Fast and the Furious on Talking Franchise with yours truly, Angel Bonilla. And J-Dub, Johnny Wong. Alright, so what do you remember about this movie? This is the Fast and the Furious one.
I remember it.
Out in 2001.
I remember it being a remake of Point Break.
Point Break with cars.
Pretty much.
Definitely.
No, but yeah, this is pretty crazy that this one film spawned off all these sequels. When they made this back in 2001,
you didn't think it would become a franchise?
They had no idea that it would become one of the biggest
movie franchises.
Like now, they're churning them out like every 2 years. This is making billions of dollars each film.
Uh-huh.
Crazy, but yes, it all started with one.
That one movie that came out in 2001. So, I watched it recently. Again, with all these Fast and the Furious movies.
Does it hold up?
No, all these Fast and the Furious movies, it's bullshit. Bullshit scenes that you're like, what the fuck? Opening sequence. Do you remember what the opening sequence is?
Yeah, they're
hijacking the car.
Hijacking a car for some very expensive DVD players.
Panasonic. That's what it is, Panasonic. All right. And they show up in 3 Honda Civic Coupes, you know, with the little, I think it was neon green lights. So they come and they have a harpoon gun for some reason that has a fucking
they don't play around. This gang don't play around. They live their life fast and furious.
They even had a tranquilizer to tranquilize the truck driver. I was like, what the fuck?
They don't play around.
How do they have tranquilizers? So, already, Dominic Toretto was on some high-class level shit before he even, joined forces later on with The Rock and shit. So, we have Dominic Toretto, part of the Toretto family. Brian O'Connor. Brian O'Connor's a Los Angeles
undercover cop
who's
trying
to
infiltrate the mean streets of LA racing.
Yeah, so he's trying to become a detective for the FBI, right? That's what it is. That's the story. And then he's trying to stop the Toretto family.
They've pissed off because of these heists are happening. Truck drivers are now arming themselves, and they want to defuse the situation. So it's his job to infiltrate street racing to find out who's doing these deeds of stealing DVD players.
They hire very expensive electronics, man. They're probably selling them on the market for like car radios and shit. Yeah. So he has a Mitsubishi Eclipse. I think that's his car. Brian O'Connor. He drives and he's got the nitrous in it. He's over there in Dodger Stadium trying to test it out in the beginning. Do you remember this? And then he goes to Toretto Marketing Cafe.
Yeah, he just wants that tuna melt.
He wants that tuna melt. Which is like, nobody likes the tuna. I ain't looking for the tuna that you got inside that bread. And he's like, he got into a fight, a little scuffle. Dominic Toretto had to stop that shit. And he told him he was fired from his job. I guess he has that pull to tell Harry, was his boss, work at the auto parts.
Listen, this first film, I'm not a huge fan of. I didn't get into the series until the later movies, what it became. But this is still crazy on how this whole movie started it all and what it's become, though. It's totally different. Even though it has the Fast and Furious title in the movies, these are totally different fucking movies.
All of them? No,
I
think they just have to go up a level, because in the beginning sequence, what they're doing with the truck, one of the Civics goes underneath the truck at enough speed to not.
But all right, I like this movie. The things I like about this movie, it has practical stunts in it. There's no CGI. There's nothing like. And at the end of the day, this movie it is about racing. The main focus is on racing.
All right, we had a little visitor.
But we're back.
Oh yeah. All right. So what we were talking about, the Fast and the Furious having practical stunts. Yeah, it's true. I think it was less CGI, and I think the CGI movement in movies didn't start until you know what I mean, like more in depth until later on, until like the 2010s and shit.
But I mean, yeah, this movie and it's practical stunts. This movie was made on a budget of $38 million.
$38 million.
And made quite a profit. Worldwide, it ended up doing over $200 million. It made $144 over here, and yeah, kicked off the franchise. And with a lot of these unknown actors. I mean, the biggest star in the movie up until the point of the career, it's Vin Diesel. But Vin Diesel was not well known.
Yeah, he'd
only really been in Pitch Black. And
he
he had a small role in Saving Private Ryan, but nobody knew.
He was also a fucking... You probably don't know this. I forgot what show it was. Probably on MTV. And Vin Diesel was a breakdancer. He was a breakdancer.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. Vin Diesel was a breakdancer before he became, you know, this super action star that he is right now. He's all over the place. He's got a, you know, pretty... But he's like...
He's
the new age Sylvester Stallone.
He's a big. I don't know. Can you say Vin Diesel's a big superstar? He's a big superstar when it comes to these movies. When it comes to everything else that comes in the theaters, nobody watches his shit.
Nobody.
Outside of Riddick, he has not
what
had.
What other movies? He's Groot. He's fucking...
Okay.
What about The Pacifier?
People are not going to see Guardians of the Galaxy for Vin Diesel. I could have been Groot and just delivered those one too. Anybody could be Groot.
I don't know. I think Vin Diesel has like a certain approach that he brings to Groot.
Stop it.
He has to be Groot. His voice is... He was born for that role. You couldn't hardly understand what he's saying in the movies normally, so...
No, but yeah, I like the effects with the budget and the cast. It kind of introduced us to Paul Walker. Up until then, I think Paul Walker was in the movie Pleasantville. If you ever seen that, it was Tobey Maguire.
Cruel Intentions? No, that was
no, he was not in Cruel Intentions. That was Philippi.
Yeah, that was Philippi.
Not to be confused.
Not to be confused. You see, there you go. Didn't know him at first.
Introduced us to Michelle Rodriguez, Jordana Brewster, who I feel like Jordana Brewster, outside of the Fast and Furious, what has she been?
I don't know any movie that she's been inside. Any other movie she's been in.
And
other than that,
now she can't even get a job in the Fast and Furious movies because Paul Walker went and fucked it up for her.
That's fucked up.
Oh, they had to write her out of the series.
Lord.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah, spoiler alert as we break in. You guys already have seen. If you haven't seen Fast and the Furious,
Fast and Furious to me though, I don't.
Pop culture already.
They're fun movies. I don't take them seriously at all. There's some people that do, but this is pure cheese, and I like to laugh at the movies because.
The stuff, it's over.
Basically, like the plot of Point Blank.
Well,
thrown in with a little bit of Romeo and Juliet because forbidden love, whatnot between.
This should have just been a sequel to Point Break. They should have had Keanu Reeves come back in his role, and I gotta infiltrate
fast.
But I think at the time he was too big by then. He was filming Matrix and all that.
Drives a bus like races.
There's a bomb on this car. I can't go under 50. Oh man,
can't go under 80 miles per hour. So the race wars.
Thank God
this is not.
They gotta have that nitrous. Give me that NOS.
There's this thing called in the Fast and the Furious called race wars.
I'm a fan of Race Wars.
No, not the race. I know what Race Wars is. It's not racial wars.
Yeah.
Race wars. So that's how he meets Toretto.
Cars meet in the desert and they race each other.
And this movie is pretty good to introduce everybody and have like the dynamic that the Toretto is not only a gang, you know what I mean? It's a actual family. They're friends, have barbecues and shit and Coronas.
Yeah, again, nothing
Barbecues
better.
and Coronas.
You can drink anything. You can have any beer in the house as long as it's a Corona. Yeah. But yeah, Corona, it's not bad. But it's so corny and cheesy.
I think I liked it when it came out. For me, it was. I didn't ever expect that it would become the movie franchise, but I think it generated enough people interested in the movie.
I like
it started to become in that time frame where movies started to have more than just 3 parts. You know,
I said that.
More than just a trilogy.
When Fast and Furious first came out, I didn't originally see. I didn't see it in theater. I think to be honest with you, I think I seen the second one before I seen the first one. I seen Too Fast, Too Furious, and then I went back and seen the first movie. But it's like I said, this is Fast and Furious was never a big thing for me up until Part 5, where I was blown away by that, and I still think that standalone, that's
is the best part
when they introduced The Rock into the series. But anyways, so you have
Brian O'Connor gains Dominic Toretto's
trust. They race each other,
and he wins his car first, right? He gets him for the car, because he tries to bring the nitrous.
Vin Diesel beats him. But the car, they were racing for pink slips, and
it's that Brian didn't have the 2000 or the money to put up front for the race, so he put his pink slip up for the car,
and he lost.
Jesse checked it. It was like, all right, this is good. Then they race. Ja Rule's in the race.
Monica
Hector's there. He's been in the Fast and the Furious. He's in all Race Wars. I guess he's like the host for the Race Wars.
You know what's crazy about again, Ja Rule was pretty big. He
was big at that time.
Yeah, he leads the soundtrack for the Fast and Furious thing. But interesting note, he was offered the role in Part 2. Ludacris's role was supposed to be Ja Rule, and Ja Rule turned it down because Ja Rule was too big at the time.
Yeah,
and now Ja Rule is in a shitload of trouble. You heard about the festival, the music on the island?
No.
A whole bunch of people paid to go see a concert, and they showed up, and it was a fucking disaster. Like, they owed millions. Ja Rule's in a lot of trouble.
I don't know.
He fell off.
He went after Eminem. That's what happened. But listen, don't go after the white boy. That's like the dumbest thing. All right. So he gains his trust. Afterwards, they start to, develop a friendship. And that's the whole plot of the movie is Brian O'Connor having to deal with trying to bust the Toretto family and his kinship that he's being created while he's
such a bond
infiltrating it. Yeah, he just wants to bang his sister.
I was just about to. I was just like, he's really just trying to do. He's like, I'm torn. Do I turn him in? But I was like, before I turn him in, I gotta get pussy first.
Yeah, I gotta get some dodo, man.
I gotta get Jordana Brewster, who is just okay.
She's like a 6. She's alright. She's good. She's alright.
But yeah, he loses his car, and then the cops show up.
Bloody.
And he picks up Vin Diesel, saves him from getting arrested, and then
Vince was on that shit.
They wind up in Chinatown where Vin Diesel's enemy is hanging out at. Because remember they get stopped.
The Asian dude, right? Chan or something. Tran. Something.
Believe it. Yeah, I think his name was Johnny Tran.
Tran, Chan. They all.
Yeah, it's Tran.
Yeah, that's
because they're gonna be.
And they tried to blame, right? I think I remember that. Brian O'Connor tries to blame Tran for what was going down.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. Yeah, he's on to him because they end up shoot up. Don't they? They end up shooting Paul Walker's car up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and they got to fix it up.
That's how you know they're the bad guys for no reason. Yeah, they were gonna let him leave, and then they just shoot it up, and then he's on to them, and he thinks that they're behind all of the
Yeah,
Vicious
the
deeds.
crime, the heist. That's what this. It's like a fucking Point Break mixed with Ocean's 11.
Yeah, and then no, that's late. Ocean's 11 is later on.
It's like a Oh yeah, later on because it's like a whole freaking.
Yeah, no, he tries to infiltrate it, and then Vin Diesel's friend who has a crush on his sister. He doesn't like him.
Vince, he smelled him from the get go. He was like, nah,
he's a cop, man.
He's a cop. No, he's not.
And
then he says, no, he's not, and he has to eat his words because he is. Spoiler alert: their friend. When did Jesse die? Did they Tran kills? Right?
Yeah, but yeah, that's later on. They, like I said, he gets introduced to the whole family, meets Michelle Rodriguez, Jordana Brewster. They have another guy who gives them all their parts. That's the guy that you just mentioned.
Jesse, he's the one who fixes up the car.
But Vince is on to him. There's something he doesn't like about him.
There's something I don't like about that guy.
I mean, yeah, it's a simple movie. It's
a lot about cars too. It really goes into.
Oh yeah, no. If you're a fan of cars and stuff, and that's why. Like I said, there's some big time fan. There's people that don't like the series anymore. But when this started, it was about the cars. It had the story of he's trying to infiltrate, but the movie was really about the cars.
Yeah, definitely. It was very car driven.
But yeah, so you got Paul Walker tries to the FBI goes into Tran's place or whatever, and they find out that everything that he's purchased has all been legal, and then that pisses off Tran because now he's out for revenge on Dom and his shit. But that leaves Paul Walker to believe that Dominic Toretto is probably really doing this stuff.
Yeah, and he still, sees good in Dominic Toretto. He's not a bad guy.
He's just his backstory. He used to be a race car driver with his father.
Oh yeah, they do go into the
story. His father got killed in a race because of some other guy.
But did that have to do with the Tran?
No. So Vin Diesel decides to take a wrench and beat the shit out of him. Or doesn't he murder him? That's like the backstory is like why he's like he was banned from racing because he bashed a guy with a fucking
the guy that caused his father to get killed.
Yeah, and his father left him the Charger. But yeah, he gives him that whole story. They get close, they bond. But then after it's revealed that Tran's not really the guy, the FBI give them a day. They're like, "Oh, you have 48 hours." That's when they're gonna wrap up a movie. They always
you 48 hours.
Yeah, obviously you gotta do this right now. You gotta find it. It's like you gotta take them down, find out who's doing it. And then eventually, the next heist that gets shown, it is revealed that it's Michelle Rodriguez, and then doesn't Paul Walker sleeps with. Meanwhile, Paul Walker sleeps with Jordana Brewster. He gets the banger, and then he's like, "Hey, I got some bad news. I'm FBI." He's like, "I'm really gonna."
I thought that was so good. That
I'm about to take your brother
Truth
in.
Serum, Toto. Right?
I'm gonna take him down. But they all this before that gets revealed. They have a big race at the Race Wars, and Jesse decides to bet his car against Tran, and fucking Jesse ends up losing, but decides to go off. And because he bet his father it's his father's car. Whatever. He's like, he just drives off, and that pisses off Tran or whatever. So when they finally get back, Paul Walker's ready to. It's also revealed that.
Yeah, that's what it was, right? The Tran's father, the one that killed Toretto's father. Something called.
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was like that. You just watched the movie the other day.
I think that's. I'm telling you, that's why. I think it had something to do with.
No, but either way, they get down to the house, and it's finally revealed that Paul Walker's an FBI agent. Vin Diesel knows, and then Jesse ends up showing up, apologizing for the shit they ran off with the car, and before you know it, Tran and his gang come by, and they just shoot him up.
But they shoot him.
Yeah,
and they kill Jesse.
And Vin Diesel is off to the races to go chase them down, and then Paul Walker teams up with him, and they start going down there to go get him. and ultimately they take Tran down, and then he's got to turn him in or whatever, but they decide to do the quarter-mile race.
Let's see if he gets away. And if he wins, he gets to go, right?
No, it's not like that, but
that's how it was then, right?
At the ending, they got the trains coming by, and they have to make it through. Okay, and then that's probably the only part that has CGI in that movie was the train coming by. But they both go over they barely miss the train, and Dominic's car ends up getting hit by another oncoming car after they pass by. They flip the car over, and Paul Walker has the chance to put him in prison, and instead he's like, I owe you a 10-second car. Yeah. And he gives him the keys, lets him walk off, and that's the end of the movie. But
that's the story.
I don't know. That's what happens. I don't know. I don't really feel the bond. Paul Walker doesn't owe Vin Diesel anything. Like they bonded that much. Where
he's in love with his sister.
But they don't pay that off. All right, they don't. At the end of the movie, they don't pay that off. They don't pay that off either with him talking to the sister and nothing like that. At the end of the movie, he's just like, "I'm sorry, I'm a cop," and the ending of the movie is Vin Diesel just starts riding off with his car, and Paul Walker's just standing there because you can hear the cop sirens coming too. He's like, "Yeah, you gotta go," and they end the movie like that. And then at that time, they had no idea that they were going to do sequels, that they were going to make that kind of money. But I mean, it was it was a box office hit back in the day. 144 million for 2001 was pretty good, and then they were off to the races, because after Fast and Furious 1, I think 2 years later,
they let Dominic Toretto hide out. They go to the second one. They let him go. I guess it makes sense not to go to bring them back together, knowing that. Yeah.
After 1, they came out with a movie that was too fast, too furious for me to handle. I am not the biggest fan.
You don't like this one?
It's all right. It's mediocre. It's a cheesy movie, but this one is. It's a lot brighter. They put in more cars, but I mean, this one has a little more style, I guess. They up the ante of like the racing world from the last film, anyways. And there's a lot more ass.
Yeah, they do bring a lot.
Yeah, their music and then like that
ass. This one you got even Mendez up in.
Yeah, I was
woo. High quality ass.
But in this one, only Paul Walker returns. Everyone, it's new cast. They did not.
You know who they did bring back?
Continue. Oh,
his the guy, the black FBI agent.
Oh yeah,
what was his name? Bilkins or something like that. Yeah, it's Detective Bilkins, and he catches him in the second movie down in Miami. Is it? Oh, they said
he's now. It turns out that Paul Walker, Brian O'Connor, he's not a cop anymore, and now he makes a living just by street racing down in Miami, and that because they opened a film with a big race in Miami. But no Vin Diesel in this one. You can share a few facts in this one. Again, this one was another hit. It made quite a bit of money. I don't have the exact count on it, but I remember that. This was kind of a big movie, and wasn't this? No, this wasn't Tyrese's debut in a film, right? He had previously done Baby Boy before that.
Probably
another movie.
This might have been his. I can't recall. I don't remember.
I think this was after Baby Boy, but Tyrese was transitioning into acting because his music career didn't.
Name 2 Tyrese songs. Can't even name one.
I Like Them Girls, and I don't know. But I know he did have some music out there.
Yeah.
But it's like. Yeah, so they greenlit the sequel. It said Universal Studios had 2 different scripts commissioned. The first script featured Vin Diesel's character, while the second script did not, in case he decided not to return. He, along with Rob Cohen, the director of the first movie, decided not to come back because they went off to go do Triple X.
Yeah, there you go.
In hindsight, all right, better movie. Triple X or Too Fast, Too Furious. I think
Too Fast, Too Furious. I think Triple X
no.
was just playing off the
I don't.
same.
I
think
know,
Triple
they
X was
could've-
playing off the same thing that what they capitalizing off the Fast and the Furious. It was almost a similar.
Was it
character.
Extreme Move? No, it was Extreme Move.
Yeah.
Extreme Move. Triple X is a better movie. He made the right choice.
What's his name in Triple X? Dominic Toretto. You don't even
His
know.
name's Triple X.
X.
No.
So we have Bilkins, the FBI agent from the previous movie, recruits Brian O'Connor to take on a drug lord, if I'm not mistaken, who has a bunch of cars and shit.
Yeah, this is something like that. Yeah, the opening movie they do their big race. Ludacris gets introduced and shit, and like I said, a lot of ass going around. But yeah, Paul Walker ends up winning the race, and then the cops come. They arrest Paul Walker. They stop his car with the gun, the technology where it can it shuts off the power.
Disruptive device. There you go. It's shuts down. Yep.
So they give him.
EDD.
Yeah, they're going to put him in prison, but they were like, all right, if you help us take down this drug lord, you won't spend any time in prison for helping Toretto out and shit. And he was like, all right, I'll do it, but I have to work with my own guy.
And he goes in and recruits Tyrese. Who's always eating in the movie.
Tyrese is funny, but yeah, they had a falling out. And like in the story, like Tyrese isn't receptive. He's not receptive.
At the beginning, he's not. He doesn't want to. Yeah, they had a falling out.
But yeah, his character is funny. Yeah.
No, he is the comedic relief within the movie. He's always been that, but he was funny.
Oh, and then I'm reading over here. They say actually the role of Tej.
Yeah.
Instead of Ludacris, it was actually supposed to be Redman. But because of scheduling conflicts, he couldn't do it.
Oh, man. That would have been cool.
Imagine Redman
now
just doing the tech. I don't
Nah, he couldn't have been that. I don't know. He probably would have pulled it off. Because Tej is like a tech savvy, right? He's like a fucking... Connor RP is beginning about. I'm reading a little bit about it right here, yeah. Oh, Tej, which is Ludacris's character. Ludacris has got like all the connects. Right? He's the dude he's the Hector of Miami, basically. Who's leading the race wars
in
Miami.
Okay. Ja Rule was in negotiations, but turned it down to pursue other film projects. He probably ended up doing that fucking the Half Past Dead
Steven
Seagal. He turned down a movie. You turned down a movie. The first movie made $144 million. To do a movie with Steven Seagal, who hadn't fucking been in the theaters for years. He thought he was... Oh, yeah. He turned it down. He thought he was too big for the movie.
Thought he was too big.
Too big for the role. He wanted a bigger... He wanted his role to be as big as Roman Pierce's, which was Tyrese's role. That's the story behind that.
And what happens, Ludacris takes that little part they give him, and now he's part of the family, and he has it. I mean, he's a part of a big franchise where there's gonna go up to It's gonna go up to 10 movies. There's a Fast and the Furious 9 and Fast and the Furious 10 scheduled. Is this the biggest movie franchise? Do you think?
No.
That's the most.
No, but it is
a most scheduled part. Oh no, Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No, but no.
But it is up there when anytime you have 8 parts. But yeah, the second movie. I mean, it's kind of a guilt. I don't have a problem with it. It's like a guilty pleasure type of movie, though. People are kind of embarrassed to say, "Oh yeah, Too Fast, Too Furious." Like
it was a little bit cheesy. Yeah,
it's
even cheesier than the first one. But this is when it started getting into the realm of special agent.
I don't think so. He's still just a regular undercover cop who's happens to be in the street racing world. I would say aside from that, this one where it kind of turns away from the racing.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, you had the race at the beginning, and then
there's a part in the middle where he
That's what I'm
races the
saying.
main
They
bad
just
guy.
started
But
to-
this is where it was more bad. Let's take down a bad guy.
It's metamorphosis into the freaking heist movie that it is now.
Yeah, this introduces the level of the over the topness a little bit because
Starting to get there.
you got later on in the movie when just the whole sequence of the cops trying to chase them down. You got all the cars coming out of the garage and shit, and they're all trying to fuck around with everybody.
They killed so many police in this franchise. It's all about police brutality, but police brutality towards police. And I would say police fatality, not police brutality. And ass, cars, cops, ass, cars, and cops. Can't get better than that, right? That's what every
I'm surprised Eva Mendes never came back. She
Eva
came back for
Mendes?
like one
She came
little
for, like,
credit
that
scene.
cameo
But
at the end.
I'm surprised they
Was she
never
good
asked
or
her
bad?
to come back. But she was good. She was the cop. She held. Well, okay.
She was
she's
helping
with the boss. She's
black
she's
one,
an
yeah.
undercover cop as well, and she's been infiltrating
bad guy
the
for a
drug
while.
lord for a
Yeah,
long
all
time.
right.
And this guy's bad. Come on, he put a fucking rat on a guy's stomach and put the the pail over it, heated it up for the rat to go inside him.
Oh, I remember that now. How many movies?
I think that's probably a memorable scene, huh?
That bad guy. Well, I don't remember him in many other movies.
No, yeah,
But he's always
that
played
guy-
like a bad
Yeah,
guy.
of course. Yeah, he was in Pitch Black with Vin Diesel.
He was. Yep.
Yep.
So that's probably why it's like, hey,
Vin
Put
Diesel
this
told
guy-
him, "Hey, you should
you
do this."
should go. Does he come? No. Vin Diesel.
No, Vin Diesel was absent from this movie. They don't say nothing about him really.
And just remember, do you remember Ludacris's afro?
Yeah,
Outrageous afro.
It-
He looked like that boxer from that game, Ready to
he
Rumble.
led the soundtrack. Again, it wasn't a bad song for the movie.
Nah, he did it. I like Ludacris as an artist. So
Yeah, Ludacris was on the come up at the time. 2003, he was already big right there. Again, this movie did have a little bit of star power now. I don't think Eva Mendes wasn't really known at the time, but this is what propelled her career.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she doesn't really do all that much anymore. But yeah, that's why I said I'm surprised Eva Mendes hasn't come back. But you know what? Yeah. So you said you're a big fan of the movie.
I wouldn't say that. This is where the stunts started to become over the top. Like, what the hell is going? Do you remember when he's chasing the yacht?
We gotta start rating these movies though, so the people know.
All right.
All right. So on a scale from 1 to 10, the first movie, what would you give it?
I'm being generous and saying 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
An 8 for the first movie?
Yeah, 8.
I'd say I couldn't go any high. I wouldn't go any higher than a 7, but no, I'll give it. And you can do.
I said I was being generous.
You can do 0.5. I'll be generous to the first movie
7.5.
and give it a 6.5.
I'll give it
I'll be
7.5.
generous. All right,
And then I'll say.
so the second movie on a scale of 1 to 10,
6.
you give it a 6.
Nah, I'll give it a 5.5.
I would say the same thing, 5.5. So that's it's mediocre. Looking back on it, I mean, it's a movie that'll, if you're watching it on a rainy day or whatever, it's going to pass the time. But that's not. If I really want to watch something, this is not a movie you go back to.
So, you don't remember the boat when he makes the boat jump?
This
to get the
is
yacht?
great. I want to say this has been spoofed before. The ending sequence. This is how serious they take these movies, though. Where to stop the bad guy who's on a boat, he's gonna drive his car off a fucking ramp to get a crash on the boat and knock the bad guy out.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie Starsky and Hutch?
Yeah, they do the same thing.
They do the same exactly. I think this came out the same year too.
I think it's spoofed in many movies. I think
It's like it came out the same year or like a year later. He goes to jump over the yacht and fucking misses. That should have happened in the Too Fast and Furious. That would have been great. But yeah, no. Yeah, whenever I think of that sequence, it reminds me that Starsky and Hutch did it better. They just
And didn't There's another cheesy part. Tyrese is the thing has an ejector seat.
Yeah, saying that. Yeah, that's how he gets rid of one of the main bad guys.
One of the main guys catapults him with the fucking ejector seat. It's hilarious.
I say, yeah, and the
this
way
is when it became outrageous. I would say this is the movie where, like, it defied physics.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So this movie, the race sequences and some of the stuff, there definitely was CGI. This one had a lot of the close-ups inside of the car and everything. The part where he hits the nos for the first time, you see everything just fucking glow. It's like they want you to be high for this movie. It's definitely there is quite a bit of CGI in this one.
Yeah. And then it just escalates more and more and more. It keeps going more and over the top. And that's what they have to, I guess that they're trying to do in the next movies is trying to top themselves from the last one. What what funnier things can Tyrese say? What crazier things can Dominic Toretto accomplish and do?
On this one, they doubled the budget. It was $76 million. This one made a little bit worldwide. It made a little bit more than the original. This had $236 million worldwide, and what was it in America? What did they end up making? The box office, it was $127 million. So it was a little bit lower than the first one, and they used more money. But it still made a profit. And this came out.
Yeah, it did. That is fan base. It had, it's
I was like, I don't think the first movie left me wanting another Fast and Furious movie. And this second one, they did announce that a third one was going to be coming out. The way that they left this open-ended anyways, this movie. But, it's kind of surprising that I will have to read up on that. But yeah, Paul Walker doesn't... 3 years late. It took 3 years for the next sequel to come out. And then Paul Walker doesn't end up coming back. It's a whole fresh cast, but this one is definitely all about the racing, and we'll talk about that next time on.
Talking about franchise. It's 37 minutes, man.
Okay.
I just want to say one thing. Matter of fact, before we end this thing, this is also when it started to show the bullshit. Maybe it was not bullshit technology, and it's real technology. Because they have all types of devices that are, like, outrageous. Like you said with the beginning, where they shut down his car with a harpoon gun that shoots an electric, EMP device that shuts off a car. Do cops really have that?
I don't think that really exists. We apologize if it really does. I don't think it does. I've never seen that.
Yeah, because there wouldn't be car chases if that existed. Because end of car chase right there. Harpoon shoots, bam, shuts off the whole car.
This one Too Fast and Furious is definitely the cartoonish version of the Fast and Furious franchise. This is one of the most cartoony with the colors and all that.
Definitely,
but they just up the sex, the music,
the sex, the booty.
It's just,
if we had 100 asses in Fast and Furious, the guy was like, now we need 1,000.
Let's get that Spanish music going.
Let's get that Spanish music pumping. Everybody loves Spanish music and loud cars and a big ass. So,
but yeah, we're going to Tokyo.
We're
next
going
time.
to drift.